addition to working with patients and seeing that they're cared for, there's the dealing of red tape as well as the risks of burnout and even worse with nurses. It's not just taking to the streets that medical professionals use as a method to bring to light the arduous nature of their work. Some even take to social media to vent their work-related stress and air their grievances. In this clip, we get an analysis of one nurse's coping technique during her shift.
This nurse has just lost a patient. Overwhelmed with emotion, she leans against the wall. Then she removes her mask and tries to shake it off. She still has 5 hours left in her shift. Her video is set to emotional music, and her camera is positioned to capture her movements perfectly. But today, the nurse finds herself under fire. Many people who've seen the video on social media are calling her self-promoting and the video cringeworthy. Now the debate is raging. Did she go too far? I had a lot of people die on my watch during the pandemic, and this type of performative garbage makes me furious, says one healthcare worker. Let me set up the camera so I can cry, goes another edgy remark. It seems to be part of a growing trend. TikTok is filled with healthcare workers posting their anguish after a patient dies. This nurse sits on the floor lamenting the death of her patient. This healthcare worker is in the hospital parking garage, overcome by grief. Some comments are supportive. I'm sure it's hard to lose a patient. Sometimes you just want to feel seen. At the height of the pandemic, America fell in love with hero healthcare workers and their videos showing how they stayed upbeat during such harrowing times. So did this nurse go too far? We asked medical ethicist Professor Michael Gusmano.
I don't think it rises to the level of being unethical. I thought it was probably mildly unprofessional and a little bit attention-seeking. I just hope that the negative attention does not detract from the important work that nurses are doing.
I do see a bit of a double standard where we think it's cute when we see like soldiers, we see the military or the police do something like that. But when you see, for some reason, if it's nurses, that seems to be the sticking point. Where is it really bad if these types of things humanize them?
I think it kind of goes to nurses are, when I was first started as a nurse, I was taught you do not show emotion. You have to maintain calm in this facade at all times. You don't let anybody know you're stressed. So you learn the shit's hitting the fan, things are going on, and you don't show any emotion. You don't show any fear. Patient comes in, something's going on with them. You don't let them know that you are, because they need to know that you're in control and you know what's going on. But the problem is that it kind of helps to propagate that belief that everybody has that nurses aren't people. Something like this, she's not showing her patients, she's not showing, a board or anything, showing anything with the patients. She's showing that this is stressful for her. And one of the biggest problems for nurses is I've been, working, and you work really hard on, saving somebody's life, and you lose that patient, and sometimes they're young people, sometimes they're babies, and you're expected to just go to your next patient. I mean, you just spent an hour trying to save, somebody's life, and it's like, okay, nope, they're dead. Okay, finish the paperwork for them, and now go take care of this one who's coming in, and you got to save that one's life. And you're not given usually a break to even process it or deal with it. And it's hard. And as a nurse, you end up losing a lot of patients. That's not something that's unusual. So she took a few minutes. She went out in the hallway, videotaping herself, whatever. But she's trying to show the world, hey, these things affect us too. We have feelings too. We're people too. But then once she finished that little TikTok video that she did, I'm sure she went back into her department and started trying to save somebody else's life or trying to help somebody else feel better.
So what you're saying is it's what, even if you find it distasteful, even if you find it self-promoting, it's getting her through the shift. It's getting her through the day. It's getting her through what she's dealing with. So how can that be a bad thing?
Well, the other part of it is that it is how, I mean, she was younger than you and I, Jeff and Lynn, right? So this is how that this generation and anybody on social media, this is how we share feelings. And every piece of social media is a little bit self-promoting. Every time we get on, we say or do a vid or post, it's the way it is, but that's okay. Like, I mean, you can't then start judging what, these things. She wasn't recording a stabbing or something. So I think she was sharing, and who knows, like if she had commentary after, but then she will go and maybe see supportive comments and they might help her get through. And often that's what people are doing. There's tons of videos out there of people, having a breakdown or crying or whatever their story is, right? And then when they read the comments that aren't hateful, they feel lifted in some way. And if that's what you need, take it. What, are you kidding? It's free. It's free support. Take it as much as you can.
Sadly, she will get supportive comments, but that poor young girl, because when I was her age, I went through that shit, but I didn't have social media or anything. You just kept it under wraps and you went on. And so that poor young girl, in addition to the supportive comments, I'm sure there were a lot of ones that were saying how horrible she was for posting that. Oh. And I hope she doesn't take that to heart, because it's kind of brave that she's putting it out there to let people know, hey, I'm also human. This happened and it upset me. Yeah. And hopefully the next time people see something like that on social media, they won't just think, oh, you're so self-promoting. They might think, wow, you've been through something hard today.
Absolutely.
Well said. I might not have felt this way if we hadn't spoken with Lynn, but listening to Lynn has given me a different perspective. So thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Tom, for bringing Lynn on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.